Hey guys, how's it going? The PS5's performance has been a constant topic since its launch, with each new title sparking discussions about what the console is truly capable of. That's why today I'm bringing you 10 amazing new games where you'll think the trailer is lying until you play them. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with Battlefield 6, a game that promises to be a visual landmark on the PS5, making the most of the new version of the Frostbite engine. The announcement trailer, revealed on July 24, 2025, showcases modern urban environments, such as a devastated New York, with impressive details, including realistic textures, dynamic lighting, and particle effects that intensify the atmosphere of war. On the PS5 Pro, tests indicate performance of 100 to 120 FPS with VRR support, ensuring fluidity even in chaotic scenes with massive destruction. The density of elements such as debris, dust, and fires enhances immersion, with maps like Gibraltar, highlighting detailed interiors and interactive scenarios, raising realism to a new level. Destruction, a pillar of the franchise, reaches its peak in Battlefield 6. The promise is to offer the most realistic destruction effects in the industry, with buildings that dynamically collapse and terrain that deforms with explosions. The game promises to be one of the most impressive FPS games of the year, especially for PS5 players seeking cutting-edge visuals and immersive gameplay.
Training the target for the F-61.
Ghost of Yōtei is a game that captures attention with its setting and art direction. The title stands out for presenting a visually impactful world with a detailed representation of feudal Japan. Elements such as flora, fauna, and the architecture of the era are reproduced with attention to detail that contributes to immersion. Dynamic lighting and weather effects are technical aspects that enhance the visual perception of the environment, creating landscapes that change with the passing of the day and atmospheric conditions. The level of detail in character models and environmental elements is high. Textures of clothing, armor, and objects are crafted to exhibit a high degree of realism, with the rendering of materials like metal, fabric, and wood. Character movement is fluid, and animations aim to credibly reproduce combat and exploration actions. This attention to visual fidelity is one of the game's focal points, aiming to deliver an experience that maximizes available graphical resources. The color palette and the use of post-processing techniques, such as depth of field and motion blur, contribute to the game's cinematic aesthetic. The art direction uses contrasts and saturation to highlight certain visual elements, creating an environment that, although fantastical in some aspects, maintains a basis in historical and cultural reality.
Every motion counts. It's about lethal precision. If an enemy swings hard, Atsu can lose her weapon. But if she's quick, she can disarm them.
Nothing there? You're dead!
Choose the right weapon for the job. To fight a massive enemy, her huge Odachi blade is best. Blades are great, but ranged weapons work too. And Atsu's got an arsenal.
A bounty hunter? A ghost?
Thrown weapons like kunai, bombs, or even blinding powder can give Atsu an edge. When enemies switch weapons, you'll have to adapt. Dual swords are best against spears.
No more!
Tell me what you know about Saito.
Dying Light the Beast is a standalone adventure in the Dying Light universe, released by Techland, with a premiere date set for September 19, 2025, after a postponement from its initial August date. The game brings back protagonist Kyle Crane, now seeking revenge against the mysterious Baron, who subjected him to brutal experiments for 13 years, transforming him into a hybrid creature with beastly powers. Set in Castor Woods, a once touristy rural valley now infested with zombies, the game combines open world, first-person parkour, visceral combat, and off-road driving, maintaining the series' essence with its striking duality between day and night. This duality forces the player to explore and loot during the day, while night brings horrors that require escape, hiding, or fighting strategies, intensifying immersion and challenge. The graphics of the Beast on PS5 are one of the game's highlights, described as next-gen and capable of bringing a visually stunning zombie apocalypse to life. Every detail, from vegetation swaying in the wind to realistic zombie injuries, contributes to a visual narrative of survival. The Castor Woods setting is vibrant, with areas ranging from swamps to lush forests and dense cities, all rendered with rich textures and dynamic lighting that enhances the atmosphere. Techland leveraged the power of the PS5 to deliver impressive visuals, especially in parkour scenes on rooftops with views of the city lit by the sunset, creating moments of immersion in the game's open world.
I don't care how high his walls are, or how big his army is. That fucker will pay for what he did to me. All the years he took from me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
Grand Theft Auto 6 is one of the most anticipated games in history, with a confirmed launch for May 26, 2026 for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, with no initial forecast for PC or previous generation consoles like PS4 and Xbox One. Developed by Rockstar Games, the game is set in Leonida, a fictional state inspired by Florida, with a focus on the modernized Vice City, an iconic setting in the series. The game's map is the largest ever created by Rockstar, including urban areas, beaches, suburbs, rural areas, and nearby islands, offering a dynamic open world with realistic NPCs and advanced physics systems, raising immersion to new levels. The graphics of GTA 6 on PS5 are one of the most talked about points, driven by the new version of the Rage game engine. The second trailer, captured entirely on PS5, showcases impressive visuals with resolutions up to 1440p with upscaling, using ray tracing for global illumination and realistic reflections, especially on cars and water surfaces. Filtered shadow technology, similar to that used in Red Dead Redemption 2, ensures visual depth, while small details such as beer bottles and hair rendered with thread-based technology demonstrate an exceptional level of realism. Rockstar bets on living environments that dynamically react to player actions, with detailed textures and natural lighting that make every scene, from sunsets to urban alleys, a visual spectacle.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm a bit nervous that I might screw everything up that I've ever done. But what's the point of living if you ain't having fun? I guess I'll try this, try that, might miss, gotta find what I'm good at. I guess I look here, look there, over where am I scared, where am I at? I gotta make it in this life, whatever makes me happy, know I'm doing things right. Sipping in the summer on a goose and Sprite, or find a nightclub for the end of the night, oh. And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything? But what you gonna do for it, how you gonna move for it, what you gonna be?
The Witcher 4 is one of the most anticipated games of the new generation, developed by CD Projekt Red, marking the beginning of a new trilogy in the franchise's universe. Unlike previous titles, which use CD Projekt's proprietary engine, The Witcher 4 is built with Unreal Engine 5.6, which elevates the game's visual and technical standard to impressive levels. The story continues the events of The Witcher 3 and introduces the unprecedented region of Kovir, an open-world environment with mountains, dense forests, and the vibrant port city of Valdrest. The promise is an engaging narrative with impactful choices and a more interactive world, reinforcing the series' legacy as one of the greatest RPGs of all time. The graphics of The Witcher 4 are one of the most commented highlights, especially after the technical demonstration shown at State of Unreal 2025. Running on the base PlayStation 5 at 60 FPS with ray tracing, the game impresses with visuals that look next-gen, almost like a PS6 title. Unreal Engine 5.6 allows for details like dynamic lighting, realistic shadows, and very high-quality textures, creating environments that react naturally to light and movement. The Kovir region, shown in the demo, displays breathtaking scenarios such as dense forests, rugged mountains, and the city of Valdrest, full of life and detail. Technologies like nanite for vegetation, metahuman for realistic crowds, and the Unreal animation framework ensure a level of visual fidelity that makes the world feel alive, with NPCs reacting dynamically to the environment, such as a man knocking over apples that trigger chain reactions.
Like you probably suspect, he has his own agenda in all of this.
You're off your tits again, Wilfred. Get your ass up.
A typical day's toil.
Who in? Ah, Witcheress. What news of my wagons? No eternity is taking that damn salt to arrive.
I found them. And, well, suffice to say, they'll not reach you. As for the salt, I found not one speck. I presume this comes as no surprise to you. Now. Kovir's smuggling trade is of no concern to me.
Shush.
The Manticore.
Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy is an action-adventure game with RPG elements, developed by Asobo Studio and published by Focus Entertainment. As a prequel to the acclaimed A Plague Tale series, the game is set 15 years before the events of A Plague Tale: Innocence, focusing on Sophia, a young scavenger and skilled navigator known as the Sea Scorpion in A Plague Tale: Requiem. The narrative delves into a setting that alternates between the Middle Ages and the mythical Minoan civilization, exploring the island of the Minotaur, where Sophia faces enemies, solves puzzles, and uncovers secrets linked to the macula, the franchise's central curse. Unlike previous titles which prioritize stealth, Resonance focuses on dynamic close-quarters combat, light manipulation with a Minoan sphere, and a dark atmosphere that promises to intensify immersion. The graphics of A Plague Tale Legacy on PS5 are one of the major highlights, fully utilizing the next-gen hardware to deliver breathtaking visuals. Asobo Studio, known for its attention to visual details, creates stunning Mediterranean scenarios that blend the rawness of the Middle Ages with the ruins of a Minoan civilization full of mysticism. The island of the Minotaur is presented with environments rich in textures, from dense forests and dark caves to ancient temples illuminated by light beams that dynamically interact with the gameplay's light manipulation system. The graphical quality is amplified by real-time lighting effects, with soft shadows and reflections that highlight the agonizing atmosphere, especially in moments of tension with the mythical creature chasing Sophia. The game Cronos: The New Dawn stands out in the survival horror genre, drawing attention for its visual presentation. Developed by Bloober Team, which uses Unreal Engine 5, the game seeks to create an immersive and detailed atmosphere, with technology being one of the focal points to achieve this graphical quality. The engine allows for the implementation of advanced features that contribute to the visual fidelity that many expect from next-generation consoles, such as the PS5, one of the technical aspects that contributes to this perception of cutting-edge graphics is lighting. In the new Dawn, lighting is handled with Lumen, a solution for global illumination and ray-traced reflections. This means that light in the environment behaves more realistically, interacting with objects more naturally and creating convincing shadows and reflections. This dynamic control of light, along with the manipulation of colors and post-processing effects, allows developers to adjust the ambiance and mood of scenes in real time, generating an impactful visual experience. The attention to detail extends to the scenarios and models of characters and enemies. The game is set in a world that blends Eastern European brutalism with retro-futuristic technology, and this setting is built with high-resolution textures and complex modeling. The visual quality is reflected in the representation of grotesque creatures and desolate environments, where Unreal Engine 5 offers the tools to create a level of detail that enhances immersion, bringing the experience closer to what is expected from a title developed for the PlayStation 5's hardware.
Class outpost, but I still can't produce enough power to carry out my plan.
The game Ill has attracted a lot of attention for its visual presentation, with many wondering if a title with such graphical fidelity can run on platforms like the PS5. The title, a first-person survival horror game, is based on Unreal Engine 5, a tool that allows for a high level of detail and realism. The released gameplay demonstrations and trailers showcase highly textured environments, complex dynamic lighting, and character and creature models with impressive visual quality. The technology behind Unreal Engine 5, such as Nanite and Lumen, contributes significantly to this quality. Nanite allows for the rendering of geometry with microscopic details, meaning developers can import models with millions of polygons without a noticeable loss of fidelity, while maintaining a fluid frame rate. Lumen, in turn, is a fully dynamic global illumination solution that makes indirect light adapt in real time to changes in the environment, resulting in scenarios with extremely realistic shadows and reflections. In addition to resolution and model detail, Isle seeks graphical realism through advanced physics and a focus on visceral body horror. This translates into environmental interactions that feel authentic and dismemberment and bodily damage effects that exhibit a disturbing level of detail. The developers mention that they are inspired by horror films from the 70s to 90s, which used practical effects and creative lighting to create creatures and seek to replicate that raw and realistic aesthetic. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world action-adventure game that has drawn attention for its impressive technical level. Developed by Pearl Abyss, the same company behind Black Desert Online, this title is being built with the proprietary Black Space engine. The game places players on the continent of Pywall, a fantasy setting with diverse landscapes where they will face challenges as a mercenary group. The project's ambition is evident in the number of systems and mechanics expected to be featured in the game. One of the most striking aspects of Crimson Desert is its graphics, which are a frequent point of discussion when talking about the game, especially concerning its visual potential on the PlayStation 5. Gameplay demonstrations have revealed a high level of detail in environments, textures, and character models. Dynamic lighting, detailed atmospheric effects, such as volumetric fog and real-time weather variations, contribute to immersion. Realistic water simulation, with waves and fluid movements, also adds to the overall visual quality. Pearl Abyss's Black Space engine, which powers Crimson Desert, was designed to deliver a vibrant and responsive world. The inclusion of technologies like ray tracing, which simulates light behavior more realistically, directly impacts how environments are lit and how shadows are cast. Crimson Desert has the potential to be a visual landmark. Gameplay demonstrations show a world with different ecosystems, from dense forests and medieval cities to snowy mountains and vast deserts, all rendered in real time.
our being who brought chaos to Cronos. The rifts they have created will return everything to nothingness. We seek to correct this.
I have my own mission, seeking out my remaining comrades.
What I can tell you now is that this mission will restore the disrupted providence.
For those who have died, for those who have survived, and for those who will live on, this is our mission.
Phantom Blade Zero is one of the most visually impressive games announced for the PlayStation 5, leaving many speechless since the first trailer. Developed by Chinese studio S-Game, the title blends intense action with a visual aesthetic that looks straight out of a stylized martial arts film, almost like a fusion of Sekiro, Nioh, and Bloodborne. The main highlight, without a doubt, is the graphics. Ultra-detailed scenarios, dynamic lighting effects, and particles flying with every blow create a visual atmosphere that seems unreal. It's so well made. It's the kind of game that makes you think, how is this running on the PS5? The environments are artistically dark and cinematic, reminiscent of a gothic and shadowy oriental setting, full of fog, deep shadows, and cold colors that create a constant sense of mystery and tension. The ambiance is worthy of a modern samurai film with an extremely refined art direction. Every frame looks like a moving painting, with rain running down sword blades and reflections on wet floors, all running with impressive smoothness. The graphics are so beautiful that many people even thought the trailers were fake. But everything indicates that the real gameplay delivers exactly what was shown. If you like games that push the limits of hardware and offer a true next-gen visual experience, this one is definitely a name to keep an eye on, because it makes the PS5 use all its power. Well, that was the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos. God bless, and see you next time.